Good morning, everyone. I am Angela Wilson with the Chamber of Commerce, and welcome to the 20th Annual Week of Women Women's Leadership Conference. We're so glad everyone could join us again today for our third day of virtual speakers. We are very excited about today's speaker, but before then, I would like to thank our sponsors because without them, we could not make this day possible. Our presenting sponsor of this week is Muskogee Creek Nation Casino. Our host sponsor is Indian Capital Technology Center. Our speaker sponsor is OG&E, First Star Bank, Green Country Behavioral Health Services, Refresco, St. Francis Hospital Muskogee, Georgia Pacific, Muskogee Phoenix, Northeastern State University, Connors State College, and Love Bottling. If there are any questions for today's speaker, please put them in the chat and we will monitor them and address them at the end of the presentation. Today's speaker, again, is presented by OG&E, and I'm honored to call today's speaker a very close friend of mine, Carleeta Nelson. Carleeta grew up poverty poor and graduated valedictorian from Gracemont High School, a small country town in Oklahoma. She then graduated with a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing from UCO in Edmond in 1989. While working at the Children's Hospital of Oklahoma, she went on to obtain her master's in nursing science in 1993. Carleeta specialized in pediatric hematology oncology and helped collaborate and create the pediatric bone marrow transplant program that is still thriving today. She left the Children's Hospital in 1997 to shift her focus from chronic to primary care pediatrics, where she practiced in Norman, Oklahoma. She was working full-time in her nursing career in 2003 when she started as an independent consultant for Arbonne International. When she started her Arbonne business in 2003, Carleeta was the fastest to earn the company car, a white Mercedes, in just 4.5 months, and then continued her success to the top of Arbonne in just 19 months. She worked both nursing and Arbonne full-time until she retired in her nursing career in 2004. And she has been building her Arbonne business by helping to build people so they can flourish in that they choose to do ever since. Please welcome Carleeta Nelson.
Sorry, I forgot to unmute. I was like not wanting to disturb you, but thank you, Angela, for that introduction and for just giving me the opportunity to just be one of the speakers that speaks life into women. And I do want to say thank you to all the sponsors who believe in this mission and are supporting you in what it is that you're doing to help empower the women of this world. I love everyone in my life. I'm such a lover of people, but I honestly believe that God made women to do his special good work and to make this world a better place whenever we do it. And I want you to know my life word is empower. I feel like it's my calling, my passion, and my purpose to empower people in anything and everything that they desire to do with their life. I'm an encourager for people. I'm a champion for whatever that looks like for people, because as a woman of faith, I believe that every single one of us was created for greatness, and we were also created to be unique, and that we're given dreams and we're given everything we need to chase those dreams and to be able to accomplish all the things that we see and believe can be possible with those dreams when we do. So when Angela invited me to be a guest speaker for her, she asked for my biography. And when you're my age, it's never going to be a short one. And I've had such a fun life just chasing my dreams and the different levels of success. As I leveled up my life, my definition of success changed and leveled up, and I would have to adjust or work or leave a comfort zone that I had gotten into because there became a bigger dream that was obvious for me that I was supposed to go and share. So what I want to do, not with my biography, is to not impress you, but to help you understand where I started in my life so that I can help you see why I'm so passionate about helping everyone else in life, no matter matter where your life started and how it started, I believe that you can do anything that you want to do as long as you are willing to get out of your comfort zone, because you realize it's not that comfortable in there, and that you will be willing to apply the miracle equation for your life too, just like I have every time I leveled up my life. And that's how I design the life. The title of this training is "The Best Way to Predict Your Future is to Create It." And I want to help you see your future, and I want to help you predict your future, and I want to empower you to create your future. This book, The Miracle Equation by Hal Elrod, is where as I read it, and I do a book club with my business and my organization, and honestly, anyone and everyone is welcome to join me, because my life word is empower. And like I said, no matter what you do, I love to empower people, and so we do books that will help empower people in whatever it is that they decide that they're doing, and you just plug in what that is whenever you are a part of this book club. But I would ask you, like, what are you reading? Because these are some of the books that have helped me level up in my success, and personal growth and development is key to truly creating the life that you want, and having it be what you want instead of what the rest of the world says that you are supposed to have. But this book is the Miracle Equation book. And as I read it, I realized that that's what I had done with my life whenever I had leveled up each and every time. I know that whenever he says the equation is keeping unwavering faith, and that is so huge. And I want you to think about these things as I share them, because unwavering faith is powerful. And I don't know that everybody has it, because unwavering faith, by definition, is keeping the faith that something can still be good and happen for you, especially or even when it doesn't look like it's possible. That's unwavering faith. It's not faith in the good times and faith whenever everything's going your way. Oh, yeah, things are going to be great. It's when things look like they're going all wrong, but you keep the faith that it's still going to turn out the way that you want it to and need it to, because you're adding the other part of the equation to it, which is extraordinary effort into whatever it is you have decided to do with your life. And then when you do that extraordinary effort and you're doing your best to make it happen, and then you trust and leave the consequences up to God, which is what I do, that's what equals miracles for your life. And that's whenever you get to have the life by design that you wanted and are working to create, and believe against all odds that it's possible for you. I think being able to live a life by design today is a miracle, because more than ever, because of social media and all the things that we are exposed to today, watching other people's lives, we are conditioned to accept normal, to think that somebody else was meant to have more than what we are getting to have. And we are, encouraged or even challenged to never ever leave our comfort zone. But I just always tell people, have you really ever thought, like I said earlier, how uncomfortable your comfort zone really is? That's whenever I start knowing it's time for me to level up and expand, and to go get a bigger comfort zone home, because I get tired of running into the walls of my comfort zone, which for me looks like I want to go do something, but something about my life makes me stop, whether it's time, finances, a job, or a boss, or my health, and what I've let happen to my health, and the lack of energy or whatever that I may be experiencing for my life. That's whenever I know my comfort zone is making me uncomfortable. And I want everyone to think about and get a different relationship with a comfort zone, because we act like a comfort zone is super comfortable and we don't want to leave it. But I want you to pay attention. I even tell people, I have a challenge, a piece of paper. You can do it on a yellow notepad. Make a note right now. It's 10:09, and you are take 24 hours from now and make a note every time you run into the wall of your comfort zone. How many times in the next 24 hours do you go to do something, but something stops you? Do you think of someone that you'd like to go see, but you're not able to for whatever reason? Do you wish you could go spend some money on something that you want or need, but you can't? Like, how many times do you run into the wall of that comfortable comfort zone? That 24-hour comfort zone challenge that I call it will help you realize maybe your comfort zone isn't as comfortable as you think it is, and it's time for you to level up and expand the size of your comfort zone by working the miracle equation for your life. So what I want to do is empower you to take control of your life so that life does quit controlling you today. To be able to design your life, though, I believe that we have to know what success looks like for your life, not just for today, but every stage of life. I've always been gifted with the gift of vision, and I know that whenever I talk and work with people, because that's what I get to do, I'm in the people business, I hear people talk all the time about how comfortable they are today and how they're living their life definition of success today, but they have not gotten the ability or been asked to ask themselves, what is that going to look like for you in 5 years from today? What is what you're doing right now how is that going to play out in your life in 5 years? Is it still going to keep your comfort zone as comfortable as you need it to? Or can you see how those walls could become a little more constrictive on you as time passes if you don't change anything to go start designing the life that you want 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 or 40 years from now? I know what I want my life to look like with my grandchildren and my great grandchildren, because I'm envisioning what it is that it could be and how I want to look and feel and the energy I want to have and the flexibility that I want to have and the mobility that I want to have. I'm envisioning that all today. I have grandchildren. I'm blessed with 4, but I want to be able to be a grandparent to their children. And I know what I want that to look like for my life. And that's the part that I think people get short-sighted on. They don't remember or think about past today. They think, well, I'm good. I don't need to do anything different. But what I want you to do is predict what you want for your future. And then I want you to go to work today to start designing it and working the miracle equation so that you can be sure to have it. So we all have our own definition of success. And whatever that is for you, I shared a little bit about what mine might look like in 20, 30 years from now. But whatever your definition of success for you is success. And it doesn't matter what the rest of the world thinks. It doesn't matter what I think or am sharing with you today. I just want you to know what your definition of success looks like so that you can make sure that you're moving your life in that direction. In my business, I teach people to look for people who are amazing at whatever it is they have decided to do. I tell them one of the key things you need to look for in your business is to look for other successful people. And whenever you think about successful people, I think of Angela, who's definitely successful at her job as president and CEO of the Muskogee Chamber of Commerce. And she's also a successful mom. I don't think she's just success because of what she does in the Muscogee Chamber. I look at her as a success around her life. And that is what I teach people to look for, not just people in high positions at work. I teach people to look for people that are just people of excellence, people who are excellent, whatever it is they've decided to set their mind to. And that is what success looks like to me. Because if you can have success in one area of your life, you can have it over and over and over again for your life in anything you decide to do when you apply the success system to your life. So what I want to do is help us reflect here, because what you think and how you think is what's going to help you prepare for your life. So I want to ask, do you think you're successful? I'm not challenging you and I'm not judging you, but you need to know, do I feel successful? And only you can answer that. But what you answer will be evident to the rest of the world. And if you can answer yes, it will open doors for you, because people will recognize you as somebody who is person of excellence, knows what they want, knows how to get there, and the world steps aside for the person who knows where they're going and what they want out of life. You want and need to know what success looks like for you so that the world will step aside and cheer for you and encourage you and won't be able to stop you from moving in that direction for your life. So whether you can answer the question yes or no, it doesn't matter. The good news for you is that you know what your definition of success is, and either you're living it or you don't quite feel like you've made it there yet, but you know you're working on it and you know what you need to do to go make that happen. And remember that success is not that title or position, because I'm going to talk about that. I got titles and positions, but there were times in my season of life that I did not still feel successful in that moment. And so you need to think about it. Like, don't just look at your title. You are not your title. You are not a position. You were made, to me, you're a child of God, and you were created for greatness. And that does not limit you to anything that the world says about you and about what success looks like. You were given a dream. There's this book called The Dream Giver. And if you have not, felt like you've tapped into the dream from your higher power, whatever that is for you, I would encourage you to go read that book. It is a faith-based book, but you put your higher power in there for whatever that is for you, and you go figure out what that dream from your higher power is. And when you figure that out and you start working towards it, you will feel successful, you will feel excited, you will feel passionate, and you will feel empowered to go live it, and then also turn around and help someone else do the same for their life. So just take some time to truly think about it and know what your definition of success is. When I first formed my definition of success early in my life, I was in middle school. And I remember just looking around at the world that I was living in. I was in a loving family. I was so blessed and had the greatest gift of all, which was love in my family, but we were poverty poor. I did not consider us successful. I wasn't ashamed of us, but I didn't consider us successful because I knew how hard my parents worked and how hard they struggled. And I didn't want to have to live like that in my life whenever I got to be 20 years down the road, because again, I could see then what 20 years was going to look like for me if I didn't change the environment that I was in. Here's another great book, The 15 Laws of Growth. And my favorite chapter in here is the law of your environment. And I even got to train with John Maxwell one time about that chapter in this book. But this book is incredible for life. So he has another one, that Today Matters. John Maxwell has so many books. I'm just going to throw some at you, so maybe it will help you, go on your discovery journey to figure it out. But I did not, I knew that my environment was not going to help me live like the people I saw with my friends and their families who had nicer homes, jobs, incomes, more freedom, flexibility. I got to go on some vacations with them, which my family never got to do. And I thought, well, they're successful, my family's not. I wasn't a victim in it. I didn't believe that success was beyond my reach. I just knew that I thought if I wanted what they had, because that's what success looked like to me, then I needed to be willing to go do what they did to get it too. I learned that they had gone to college and my parents didn't. So I thought, I better go get a college degree if I want to drive cars that don't leave me stranded on the side of the road, or live in a house that actually had a back door instead of a blanket. I was having to go do something out of my comfort zone and leave my little world and leave my home and go, hours away to be able to go and change and chase my definition of success. So as my journey went on, my level of success grew and changed. And we are supposed to grow and change. And what I want to ask you is, do you have anyone in your environment that's challenging you? I love that you're here today and you're challenging yourself. But so much of our world that we are surrounded by never grow past high school or the last higher educational degree that they got. They never, ever pick up another book and try to grow and develop beyond where they are in the moment. John Maxwell says we're either growing or we're dying, and growth is not automatic. We have to be intentional with it. So once I formed that definition of success in my mind and I knew what I had to do to go get it, I had to go find a way to do it. But I knew that I could be successful too, because I could see it and I knew what they did. And as poor as I was, and I don't have time to tell you the details of the story, but I can tell you it was absolutely one of the hardest things I ever did, and was not easy to leave my home and go without any financial aid and without any extra student loans or anything like that. I didn't go into debt for my degree, and I did not get any financial aid. And I was poverty poor, leaving my home with a family that didn't have a penny to be able to help contribute for me to go get that degree. I can tell you it wasn't easy, but I kept the unwavering faith that I could do it. And I found a way to make it work because I was willing to put in the extraordinary effort to make my miracle happen. And it did. This equation for your life works. And after I graduated in college, my husband and I were busy chasing what we thought was the next definition of success. We got our degree, we were going for the house, the cars, all the things. And I had that degree, but I honestly remember thinking, I don't feel super successful because I'm working every other weekend, I'm working nights, holidays, I'm missing my family. And I thought, I must need another one of those degrees. So I went back and got a master's degree. And I had the degrees, the hot cars, the house, all the things. But I still remember, and I would say by the world's definition, we were successful. We had a beautiful home in a small gated community. But I can tell you, it was another wake up call for me on my journey to predicting and designing the life that I wanted, because I did not feel successful whenever my son was crying in the middle of our bedroom floor because he was missing his dad, because he had to work so much overtime for us to just continue to keep up with that lifestyle of success that we had given ourselves by definition. So what I want is, what I did was then go to work and work that miracle equation again to start dreaming myself out of that kind of constricted comfort zone that I found myself accidentally in after all the dreaming and designing a plan to make my life be more of what I thought definition of success was, which was being able to go where I want, when I want, and let my heart run in the direction that it needed when it needed to run there. And it was no longer the kind of house, the car, or whatever else that was out there in the material things. It was more, what did my heart want to do, and how was I going to be able to allow myself the freedom to go do it? So don't minimize the power of dreaming and designing a plan to make your dreams a reality for you and the ones you love. I love listening to podcasts as well as reading the books. I'm always doing something. I had to have my sister help me turn on our TV last night because my husband's gone and I couldn't even get my TV on because I never watch TV. I'm either listening to something that's growing me or challenging something that's growing or challenging me, or I'm with the people that I love and I'm growing and challenging them. And so I love listening to podcasts and learning from other successful people who are further down their journey than me. And one of my favorite people to listen to is Ed Milet. And he was interviewing Tony Robbins, who some of you may know those names, on January 17th, 2023. If you want to go back and listen to this podcast, it's a game changer for life, in my opinion. But Tony talks about there are seasons that the world cycles through and that we're currently seasons. Say the world is a little harder today. I mean, we are in a recession and it's the first one we've been in the last 15, 16 years. Some of you aren't even old enough to remember what it feels like to be in a recession, but we're in one and you're getting to experience it. And Tony explains in that podcast that it depends on our mental health and how healthy are we and our attitude about how well we are able to weather our winter seasons. So can we all admit that we have been in a winter season and that this is probably not going to be our last winter season, and that we need to master working the miracle equation for our lives so that we can be like some of the companies that he talks about? He explains that when you look at some of the Fortune 1000 companies and probably some of the companies that Angela mentioned, the biggest companies in Oklahoma or on the face of this earth, 60+% of them were started in a winter time. Disney, Hyatt, Microsoft, Apple, FedEx, they all started during winter seasons. And then you look at them today. And according to Tony Robbins in that podcast, he says, if you can do well in a winter, you can do well in any season, the spring, the summer, and the falls as well. And this is the reason why I'm honestly excited. Is why I'm excited is because I believe everyone truly was made for winter and that we are all right where we are supposed to be. And we're here for such a time as this. We are here in this moment to be difference makers. And so whether you know it or not, I believe you are already experienced winters. And because I honestly have never met anyone in my life that has said that they had everything they needed and wanted, they had no more desires, no other discontents, and that they had no struggles getting there. I've never met anyone like that. Even successful people that you would look at that are successful, I promise you, they had their winters, just like you. It's what we do in our winters that determine the outcome. You've had the experience that has allowed you to set you up for the rest of your life if you decide in that winter season to become a victor and be victorious and not let ourselves become victims. When we claim our victory and walk in it every single day, we are victorious. And I have never, ever met a victim in my life that says, I designed my life to be this miserable. I've never met anybody who did that. So we have to be able to be empowered and take control of designing the life we want so that we get the life that we want, because we are going to be able to live our definition of success when we do. So our spring and summer is coming, you guys, and but we are going to have to grow. And I love how Jim Rohn, I don't have one of his books here today, he's passed, but he's the grandfather of personal growth and development. All of these people, and Ed Milet, the podcast, they all learned from Jim Rohn just like I did. And he says that that when we're in a winter season, we are working to get better and tougher. He says, let me see how I said, I don't want to mess it up. He teaches us, we are out here working to get better and tougher. We're not sitting around wishing life was easier. We're not sitting around being the victim. We're not sitting around feeling sorry for ourselves. We are working to get better and tougher. And that's why you're a part of this conference. That's why Angela is doing what she's doing to empower you. And I believe right now, the women that are here and doing this are made for winter. So be excited. Don't worry about what's going on in the world. Be excited about what you're going to learn and what it's going to teach you in this season that we're in, because they don't come very often, and you are having the opportunity to get to learn and grow in it right now. So it's a gift. But I do have a question for you. This is the big question when you're in a winter season. Have you learned to master the skill of gratitude, especially in your winter seasons? Again, not when things are going your way, but whenever things are rough and hard. I just had a friend who lost her husband, who was the most precious person in the face of this earth. Some people can get bitter in that, or you can be grateful in that moment. And whichever one you choose determines how well you're going to winter that moment. And gratitude is, as John Maxwell says, the grandfather of growth and development and leadership. He says gratitude is our success stabilizer. And when you start to see the gifts that are in your winter seasons, they are there to empower you. And you will learn that you will learn more in your winter seasons than any spring or summer will ever teach you for your life. And your winters are what prepare you for the next impact that's coming for life, because they are coming. Seasons come and go. And, we were blessed to have some spring and summers, but I found myself in a winter season again whenever my son was crying and we had the house and the cars, and I realized I was not living my definition of success. I was living the world's definition of success, and I was ready to change it and do whatever I had to create the family that I have today. So what I want to do real quick is I want to pop over to a PowerPoint that will just show you a little bit about the life and the family that I get to have today. And forgive me, I'm not going to put it in presentation mode because I want to be able to still keep my slides going. But this is my family today with their the sweet spouses, my precious grandkids. We actually have one more that we just added 6 weeks ago, and my mom who lives with me, which I knew was probably going to happen with me or one of my siblings when my parents, whenever I was 20 years younger than now, because I knew my parents had not been able to prepare for that moment and impacts for their life. But I just show you this picture because no matter where you are, I'm probably older than most of you. I want you to know that life is simply going to get busier for you. And that my goal with you today is to help prepare you not only for the life you want today, but for the one that you want for your future, and to prepare you to live out life based on your terms now and in the coming chapters of your life. Because, hopefully by the grace of God, you're going to get many more chapters for your life beyond today. So are you preparing for what's coming, or are you just living with what you have today and you are not thinking about what that's going to look like 5, 10, 20, or 40 years from now? I could see all of this life coming. I knew my kids were going to get older. They were going to move out of my home. They were going to get married. They may have to move away. My son and daughter-in-law are in a few weeks are moving to Chicago. That's an impact for my life because I've always been able to have all my family and grandkids near me. And now that was something I knew could be a possibility for my life back 20 years ago. And today it is my reality. But I'm just looking at all that and going, okay, is this what I'm doing today going to let me do what I want to do when I get older? When I was working as a nurse practitioner with my doctor, I love him dearly, but one of the things I hated the most was he was so controlling and always hated if I took off because it disrupted his comfort zone. And I hated that battle that I felt in my heart every time I wanted to go be with my family. And I knew this is what my family was going to look like. And I knew that my mom was probably going to need help. And I knew that my heart was going to want to run in those directions of my family when it needed me, and that I wanted to be able to go there anytime I wanted to. The next slide is a picture, actually, sorry, is a picture of my grandbabies, just more pictures of my grandbabies, minus my newest one. And what I want you to know is that I see them in the next 20 years. Like I said, I want to be able to be present in their life 20, 30, maybe even 40 years from now. If I get to live that long and be healthy, I want to, but if not, I don't want to. But what I want you to know is that I see them, and what I know is they're watching me. Oh, this could make me cry. I need my Kleenexes. You have people watching you. And what you need to ask yourself is, what are you showing them? Are you showing them how to walk in victory? Are you showing them how to dream? Are you encouraging their dreams, or are you shutting their dreams down and telling them and being a border bully for them, like we hear about in this book, and telling them that they don't come from a family like that, their lives aren't going to be able to accomplish those things? Or are you showing them that despite what the world may think about you or say about you, as long as you know your truth and you walk in victory and you apply the miracle equation for your life, you can have anything that you desire for your life, and you can design the life you want because you predict it and you're willing to put the extraordinary effort into it and keep the unwavering faith in it to keep your success cycle moving in the positive direction. Our babies are watching us. And what I want to encourage you to do is put on a great show for them and let them know that it's never easy working yourself out of a winter and designing your future at the same time. But as long as you can see it, you can achieve it. Don't take your eyes off the prize, and know that there are little eyes that are watching you. I had people tell me that I was crazy for leaving my nursing career and choosing to do Arbonne, and choosing that as my vehicle to help me make my dreams come true. Because what I was doing and what I do, most normal people don't do. I am in a world where there are few people that are willing to do what I do, to be able to live the way that I want my life to play out for me. But I didn't let anyone stop me or distract me from designing my life, because they were not offering me another vehicle for my life and to be able to spend the time that I want with this family that you're looking at. And unless they had given me something different, I wasn't going to let them take that away from me. And I love that this other little piece of advice that I got from a mentor that I love and adore in my life. Her name is Rita Davenport. And she told me, she's like, Carleeta, don't ever take advice from someone that's messed up more than you. She's Southern. She's from Southern Tennessee, and she's hilarious. But when she speaks, she's wise, and you need to listen. And so what I want to ask you is, do you listen to people that are messed up more than you, or listen to people that don't have a life that you want to live? And if they are not doing what you want for your life, then why listen to them about what they're telling you you should do with yours? I met up on my journey with border bullies on my journey, like they talk about here. And they were the alarmists, who are going to be people that tell you what you're doing is not safe. Carlito, don't go do that. That's not safe. They're going to you're going to meet up with the border bully that is the traditionalist, that says, this is not the way that we do it. This is not what the world says that success is. And you need to do the way we always do it. That's our tradition. And then there's the defeatist that you're going to meet up with that says, success in that way is not possible. No one ever gets to live their life by design or success. And then you're going to have the antagonists that are going to try to stop you and say, I won't let you. I met all of those border bullies on my journey, and it did hurt my feelings sometimes, because they're usually the people that are closest to you and that you love and that love you, that are trying to keep you in their comfort zone, because when you step out of yours, it makes their comfort zone more uncomfortable because you're doing something they're not willing to do. But I also met champions on my journey that encouraged me, like Angela's doing for you today, and hopefully what I'm getting to do with you today. And because I kept the faith and I prayed like it was up to God, but I put the extraordinary effort into it like it was up to me, I was able and have been able to design my life instead of following the crowd and living normal. I tell my kids, if you ever hear your name and normal in the same sentence, turn immediately and run the opposite direction, because in my opinion, normal, I can't even say the word, but stinks. Normal stinks. So then in the next picture, you see my dad. And this is my dad, who is my biggest fan. And we lost him suddenly 2.5 years ago. And in my journey towards my definition of success, I've had lots of tragedies in my family. And when people needed me and that were sick and needed support and extra care, I got to be with him at doctor's appointments. I got to be with him whenever he needed me. And I don't have any regrets for him. The next picture with him, I miss him, but I got to do what I wanted to do for my life because I designed my life and knew that I wanted to be able to do that for my life. What are you passionate about? What is it that breaks your heart? Because I pray every morning, dear God, break my heart for what breaks yours. And early on in my life, obviously, because I was a hematology, oncology, bone marrow transplant nurse, he broke my heart for kids with cancer. And this is a picture of a sweet girl, little girl named Natalie Willard, who I call my bonus grandbaby, who I got to go and run in the direction that she needed me anytime she needed me and her family needed me. And my husband and I got to go and be in New York City for treatment with her in the Grand Rapids, Michigan, to help provide support for her and her family when they were going through that hard winter season, and helping her fight through the awful disease that she was labeled or burdened with. This is what we got to go do and how we got to be. And in those seasons, I didn't quit like working for the next season of my life. I looked at Natalie and I thought, you know what? I wish to God this little girl did not have to go through this journey. But again, it's not unique to her. It could be me and my own flesh and blood. And I just kept working in those seasons, doing what it is I could do, but still getting to be where my heart wanted to be. And that's how we prepare for impact. We aren't promised tomorrow. And trust me, your last hard is not going to be your last hard, but you can plan, you can predict what it could happen and create a plan of how you want to live when it does happen, because it is going to happen. And whenever you get to where you want to be, don't stop, you guys, because a world-class person doesn't just sit down and eat bonbons and go to the beach every day and drink your drinks. A world-class person is someone that the more comfortable you get, the more uncomfortable you become for the world that's hurting. And we have a world that is hurting today. And so I want to share a little video with you guys real quick. And then as I wrap up, I will, let me see if I can share that part of my screen. I will close out with this. So watch this video with me, and then I'll close us out. Thank you for your time.
So they can cut the chain off the door, but they can't make us play.
Actually, let me set up the video for you. Coach Carter is one of my favorite all-time movies, and it's about this basketball coach who is world class, because the more he became more uncomfortable, the more comfortable he got. And he grew up in this inner city school and was able to, define what his definition of success was and go out and chase it. And what he decided to do was go back to that inner city neighborhood, because he got uncomfortable being comfortable, to go help try to save other kids out of that environment. And him and his family are met with their border bullies, and they were met with doubt, objection, rejection, physical attacks, and more. But he doesn't give up, and he doesn't lower his standards. I love his grit, his tenacity, and his standard to just not settle for less or let anyone be less on his watch. But this is, he didn't give up on anybody, even when the students were giving up on themselves. And at this point in the movie, the parents and the school board and the teachers had voted him out of a job. And also what happened is that he gets to have this moment with his team of players who, because of him and the encouragement that he gave them, they were empowered to become winter tough because of him, his love, and his leadership. So now let me share the video, and hopefully, let me stop and start it again so I don't mess it up. Okay, sorry. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, guys. Zoom is so picky sometimes whenever you switch off a screen. Okay, here it is.
We've decided we're gonna finish what you started, sir. Yeah, so leave us be, coach. We got shit to do, sir. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were all meant to shine as children do. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Sir, I just want to say thank you. You saved my life. Thank you, sir. Oh.
That movie gets me every time. But we were all meant to let our light shine. It's not a time to play small in this winter season, you guys. It is a time for us to fight for the life that you've designed and create the legacy that you want to leave for your family and your community. And so I am so honored to stand here as a fellow woman and dream with you and design with you and help miracles come true with you for our families and the communities that we live in, because this winter season is going to help us make the rest of our lives be the very best of our lives. And so I thank you for the time that I get to spend with you. And I hope and pray that something that I have shared with you today has empowered you to believe and want more and to apply the miracle equation for your life so that you get to live the life by your design today, in 5 years, 20 years, and 40 years from now, and that you don't just do it for you, but that you take a world of people with you. And that is what I hope and pray you get to do today. So Angela, thank you for giving me this time, and I hope I stayed within the limit that you needed me to.
Yes, thank you, Carleeta, so much. I don't think we have any questions, but I know I got a couple text messages while we were sitting here of Carleeta is so awesome. She is awesome. And I said, yes, that's why I wanted to share her today with everybody, because I know she has challenged me professionally, personally. So forever I will be grateful. So thank you, Carleeta, for joining us today once again. And we do want to remind everyone that this has been recorded today, so you will get a link to rewatch it again or share it with people. Just Carleeta's message is so great. So we do hope to see everyone tonight at the Muskogee Golf Club for our business after hours networking event. You have the opportunity to get your headshot done with Mandy Lundy Photography. That is always a favorite for tonight. And then be sure to follow the Muscogee Women's Leadership Facebook page for this week's Women in Recognition. We've had some great women this week. And throughout the virtual sessions this week, we have appreciated everyone who has tuned in. And I know some of you are listening together as an office or as an individual. And we hope you took something away from each speaker this week. Tomorrow, we will welcome everyone if you have registered for the in-person luncheon. The doors will open at 11 a.m. at Indian Capital Technology Center. And our keynote speaker tomorrow will be Alba Weaver with Ogenie. So we cannot wait to hear what Alba has to say. And it is that time in closing for our giveaways. So we will pull the wheel up. And today's giveaway is a massage gift certificate donated by one of our Women's Leadership Committee members, Melissa Sepulpa. So thank you for that. We will get the wheel pulled up and give it a spin. See who the lucky winner is today. Ashley Talbert, congratulations, and we will get in contact with you for your gift certificate. And thank you once again, everyone, for tuning in today, and thank you, Carleeta.
Love you. Thank you, guys.
Love you, thank you.
Make it a great day.